what's 10% of that?
Be 1,100.
Yeah, 1,100. Right?
10% of
1,100.
1,100.
Okay. Is 10% of the LEL. Here's the deal, and I hope you see that. The OSHA law, so we've gone over the chemical and physical properties, we've gone over the hazards like electric, lockout, tag out, fall, trip hazards, lighting, all that stuff, and then we've gone over the meter, and the meter just does hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide for toxicity, LEL, and oxygen. The law hasn't been updated since the late 90s. Do you think there's more toxic stuff out there than just carbon monoxide or hydrogen sulfide?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when we go out to industry, what's that one placard that has black here or sometimes stripes that shows a little hand and some liquid pouring? Corrosive. Is our meter, that 4-gas meter that all the OSHA standards says is kind of semi-required, is that going to read anything with that?
Might not, especially like sulfuric acid.
No, it's not. It's not at all. In fact, it's a different class, so it can probably damage some of those electrolyte sensors, those vapors, and cause that not to work. So, yeah, exactly. But what do we have that we can measure corrosivity?
pH paper.
pH paper. So I saw this was really cool. Department, they got like about a 2-pound weight, and they would take the pH paper to the weight, and they had one of those little dog leashes, one of those 30-foot dog leashes, and they would press a button, that thing would go about 4 feet, and they'd go all the way down and press a button and bring it right back up. Or could you put that on the end of a pipe bowl?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because do we have a lot of corrosives in industry? Heck yeah, like I think someone told me years ago, or I read somewhere that the CIA used to look at or the governments used to look how good other governments were doing other gross national products by the amount of sulfuric acid or nitrit. You probably heard that too, that's kind of a standard. So man, those are out there. So that meter isn't going to do anything for us when the state that it's in. The other thing is there's 3 things. Number one, there's a family of chemicals out there that is what keeps industry going. Someone find a solid piece of wood in this room. It's not real wood. Yeah, it's glue lamb. The chairs are. That's not leather. Yeah. Hey, there we go. A shoe polish box made out of old 2x4. That's it. Everything else is based on plastics, polymers, monomers. It's all hydrocarbon based. They're all flammable. The things in industry, greasers, all the precursors, pretty much everything out there is going to be this family. They're called volatile organic chemicals. Okay, they're freaking everywhere. If you go to the perchloroethylene, is that call that you guys are telling me about what you guys had at that dry cleaner place. Okay, they're everywhere. If you go to Home Depot, you're going to have a whole area. Methyl ethyl ketone, benzene, toluene, they're just everywhere. It keeps us going, our industry going, our world going. So, but the thing is though, that they're toxic. Some of them are acute, fast effects, can cause like asthma, coughing, eye irritation, but long-term effects are cancer, liver damage, kidney damage. I've even like if you stand in gasoline, what's going to happen to your skin? You're going to absorb it. Yeah, it's going to actually it'll burn your skin after. You can get burns from that chemical itself. The other thing is they're neurotoxins. So if I sit here and huff on this thing long enough, I'm probably going to get a good buzz. That's why all those glues and resins that we have, those are all this family of chemicals. That's why they always say, hey, you got to do it in a well, aerated place because they're neurotoxins. The thing is, our meter, and this is the key, crucial part of that, is they're everywhere. They're hydrocarbon based, so they're flammable. But the crucial thing is that they are way toxic before they are flammable. Before they're going to reach their lower explosive limit, or 10% of the lower explosive limit. So we have always, do we go into toxic environments on our job? Tell me one.
House fire.
A house fire, okay? And we're all exposed all the time, are we not?
Yep.
Yeah. And that's one of those risk benefits that you're going to have to make if you're in that confined space. What I'm saying is you can't look at that confined space through straws. You got to look at the big picture your meter, other information, know that your meter has limitations. Also know that, you know, chemical, physical properties, the hazards, look at the whole thing and make that risk benefit go, and then put maybe some PPE on to help protect yourselves, because it's not just that 4-gas meter. So let's look at this right now. So right there, our ideal H is 500 parts per million. And, oh, by the way, here's a PID meter. I didn't go over how. The lamp. We'll go over how that works. But here's our ideal H is 500 parts per million. Lower explosive limit is 11,000. And then 10% of the LEL is 1,100. So if our ideal H, so right now, I'm going to say that that doorway over there is 10% of the LEL. You got me? Okay? 10% of the LEL. We're walking and we're metering, or we're going into that space and we're walking, and I'm here at 500 parts per million. Is my meter doing anything?
No.
Why not?
Well, it won't be alarming, but it should be telling you you're at half or 5% of your LEL.
Hi, good morning. My name is Alex Rangel, and today we're going to talk about one of your tools that Detroit Fire has, and that's the Traverse 540. It's a mechanical belay device. We already showed you some of the video and talked about some of the testing, drop testing that we have done as far as the tandem prusik belay. It's a great tool, but it has its weaknesses, as does this tool. In the last 5 years, mechanical belays have really hit the market. All of them have their positive and negative attributes. If you look at it, there's a front, and it has a diagram showing how that rope is supposed to be wrapped inside this Traverse 540. If I press that button and open it, you'll see these guideposts, and then also the internal cam or pulley. It's kind of an oblong shape, and then these two guideposts, that's where we're going to wrap around our rope to give us that 540 degrees wrap around it. On the back, you'll also see this lever, which is a release if this tool happens to lock up. So we're going to have to arm it, and what you do is just lay the rope over the back of it, and you'll see you'll have to have the first wrap behind the two guideposts, and then another wrap, and then we have to arm it. Put that in there, and it's kind of almost a two-man operation. You have to press that button. So now the operation of the unit. This is where the belay man kind of has to earn his money. So you want to get somewhere comfortable in confined space. You might be working around grading uncomfortable things. Use some knee pads. If you're going to be elevated and having to be bent down with your back's going to get tired. This is a really boring, redundant job, but it's the most important job, because if we have some type of failure in our main line, this is what's going to save our butt, or save your buddy or rescuer or the victim, or both. So this is the operation. The operation is a two-handed operation. You always want to be able to keep some tension here as that line is going down, as we're lowering that rescuer. Nice and easy tension. You never want to let go of that right hand, and it's just kind of a nice and easy as you're feeling that tension go out of your hand as that we're lowering that victim or the rescuer to go get the victim. Now if this thing does lock in operation, which was just the fault of this piece of apparatus, a lot of times it was locked. We don't ever want to get any tension on our belay line. Now we're locked. Now we have to release it. That's where we have to come and use this lever to, now we're back in operation again. Now if there isn't a big load on it and it does lock up, all you have to do is go the opposite direction, and that will release the load. But if it is under tension, then we have to use this lever in order to release that. Now, once our victim is starting to come up, we again can't let go of this, of either one of these ropes. Again, you have to earn your money nice and slow, managing that line as we bring it up, making sure that we don't have slack, that this is taut, semi-taut all the way to the rescuer, and that we don't have too much slack, because we want that to catch. And so it's kind of a two-handed operation like that as we're raising our victim or rescuer up to be safe with us. Now, this unit, you want to take a look at it. A lot of times with